about working for the city of St. Louis. Now's the time to find out how. Today we're going to talk about career opportunities with the city of St. Louis. I'm joined by Todd Hillerman, a recruiter for the personnel department at the city of St. Louis. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Good news. I mean, people want to hear about jobs. We're going to talk about jobs and how people can work for the city of St. Louis. Before we get in, you're a recruiter.
Yes.
That can mean a lot of things. It entails a lot of things. But tell us a bit about your position with the city of St. Louis.
Okay, so as you said, I'm a recruiter. My job is to get people interested in the city's many open positions. Typical day for me, I'll go into the office. When I'm in the office, I'll be doing, human resources functions type things. I'll be coordinating with the various departments the city has, figuring out what their needs are, working with them, coordinating with our various nonprofit organizations that, utilize us to do their job fairs and whatnot. So things like that. And then that's probably like 75% of my job. The other 25% is the fun stuff. This is part of the fun stuff right here, getting the word out, talking to people, either on camera or off, going to job fairs and things like that, going to like universities and, utilizing those nonprofit organizations I mentioned to go to their hiring events to help them or meet students who are going to be graduating, trying to get our hooks in them so that they stick around and get a job with the city.
And start early too.
Yeah.
So let's talk about there's an application and the hiring process. So explain that a bit more, how that goes.
Yeah, so I'll gladly help demystify this a little bit for anybody that was wondering.
Demystification,
Yeah.
because there is a lot of people get
There
nervous.
is.
They're not sure what you're looking for. They see City of St. Louis. They think there's a lot of official things that go into that. So this is really going to help
Great.
people.
Okay, so application process, like anything else now, is mostly online. We would prefer if people do it online. It's easier for us, the Department of Personnel, and for them, really, because once they go online and create a profile, it's just there, and they can just boom, 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 fire off many applications. It takes basically a minute for each application once you have that profile made. So then you've submitted that. We get it, we screen it. A human being will screen it every time. There's no AI or anything like that screening it or searching for keywords and throwing it in the trash if the keyword isn't there. So we will be looking at it with our own eyes. And after that screening process, you will be found to either meet the minimum qualifications or to not have met them. You'll get an email from us either way, letting you know what the decision was. If you met the minimum qualifications, you are on a list to be interviewed. It's called the eligible list. Okay. So once you're on that eligible list, you're given a score that coordinates with your education and experience. So if your score was high, you're at the top of the eligible list. If you're near the middle, score-wise, you're in the middle. Bottom, you're at the bottom. So depending on where you scored, it may take a little bit for you to get called. Okay. But if you're at the top, it won't take very long at all. Okay. If you're at the bottom, you may wait a few weeks or a month or something like that. So I just want to say real quick, when I hear people, because I hear this semi-frequently, talk about, I applied, I didn't hear anything, or it took months, to demystify that a bit, what I just said, if you are on a list with a lot of people on it, you may wait a couple weeks or a couple months maybe even, depending on how low you scored. Or there's a lot of factors that go into that, how many people applied, where did you score, et cetera, et cetera. But you apply, you pass, you're on the list to be interviewed by one of the departments. The departments contact us and say, I need people for this vacancy, and we send you over to them and they interview you.
Well, I appreciate
That's the whole
explaining.
outline.
Right. No, and it's important what you explained, because a lot of people do think sometimes when they submit something online that it is just going into a sort of database, or as you mentioned, like something's reading it. It's good to know that there's that human element.
That does happen, just not with us.
Just no. No, thank you for pointing that out. I want to go into now what's currently available, because there are a lot of people looking for work. So let's talk about what's currently available with the city of St. Louis.
All right, so there's only 150 different positions that are open right now.
150,
that's all. Anything from utility work, which is outdoor maintenance and custodial work, everything from that to attorneys and commissioners of departments and everything in between. So it runs a broad swath of experience. Depending on what your experience is, I'm sure you can find something with the city of St. Louis that meets your needs. Right now, I think if you went to our jobs page, which we're going to give everyone that URL, I think, later, you would see some jobs starred, basically right at the top. Those are the things we're more interested in right now. Things like EMT. We just reopened EMT. So if you have a basic EMT license, please look us up. Same with paramedic. If you have a paramedic license, we need, EMS is looking for people to fill those roles. Tow truck drivers and refuse drivers, if you have a commercial driver's license, or even if you need help getting one. Really, we would like for you to already have a CDL, but one of our partners, Slate, St. Louis, we're training and employment, they will help you to a certain degree. Like there's some monetary investment they make in people who qualify to get help them on the road to a CDL, because it costs a little money to get one. So if you're listening and you're interested in getting a CDL, just know that Slate can help you with that to a certain extent.
Well, you've covered a
Yeah,
lot, and
right.
you were saying, I mean, all the way from jobs that are more on the manual side to
Yeah.
all the way up to on the legal side. When you take that
Also
one step
correctional officer.
and,
Yeah,
okay.
correctional officers for sure. So that would be another one.
And correction. No, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So when we get into this, the notion of like on the long term of career path, and we were talking about a bit about this off camera, where there are employees who've been there for a long time, people who've just started. When people do get hired, or if they're thinking this can be long term, I mean, there's a variety of ways you can go once you're in the system, or are you in these positions meant
Yes,
for a long
exactly.
time?
So, like any job, you hear about this all the time, it's just getting your foot in the door. And I believe really that's just the most important thing, because the city does love to promote from within. There are a number of ways to make yourself just more visible, more useful to people who might want to promote you. Like there's a training department, for instance, that you can take training classes to make yourself a more marketable individual. So I go into more detail about that, but that's just an example. Like they want you to make a career out of your job. That's really what you need to do in any circumstance. You have a job, make a career out of it. And with the city, you can do that because they give you the tools and they don't frown upon you moving departments, or if you want to go from the water department to the building division or whatever it is, your supervisors are happy to see you go. Essentially, they're happy to see you working your way up.
One of the things when we talk in this area that people always want to reference is benefits. And so what do you see as the key benefits? I mean, it's huge, right?
Got some good ones.
So what would you, or if you had to narrow it down, there might be a lot, but some of the key benefits of working for the city.
Right. So I mean, just to start with the normal stuff, after 30 days, you get your medical, dental, all that stuff. What I like to focus on, though, is the pension, because pensions are kind of a thing, I don't want to say of the past, but our parents, our grandparents, they had pensions almost wherever they worked. Now it's very much more rare. So, but if you work for the government, you're working for the city of St. Louis, so you're working for the government, you get a pension. You're fully vested in that pension after 5 years. So if you wanted to leave the city at that point, you could take it with you. But why would you want to do that? You want to just keep working for the city. And the more years you accrue of service and the higher your salary goes, the more that pension's going to be. And in addition to that, so you can have the pension and also 401k. It's a 457 for government purposes, but same difference. You can have two retirement accounts. Additionally, last thing is really important to me personally, public service loan forgiveness. This is a federal government program, but if you work in the civil services, you can get student debt forgiven after 10 years of payments instead of 20. So put your 10 years in at the city, you get 10 years off your payments, and then you get the rest of your debt forgiven tax-free. It's huge.
That's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
That's a huge benefit. Somebody I remember the moment I wrote my final student loan check. Yes.
I can't wait for the day, but when I'm talking to students, whether it be at like Harris Stowe or SLU or WashU or just anywhere locally, when I get to that part, I'm like, are you gonna have student loan debt? And they're like, yeah, like, well, let me tell you about this. And they're usually very, very happy to hear it.
Before we wrap things up, because we're going to show the website for people to go look for the jobs, one last thing I wanted to ask you, which is we were talking about the application process. And we were, again, all these things that are going on right now to make your application look better. I mean, what would you just say to anyone listening to this who wants to apply? What would you say is not the one thing that they can do, but any advice you have to make their application?
I'll give everyone a piece of advice.
Okay.
Don't skimp on the details. When you are filling out your profile and you're going through your work history, I understand the urge to just kind of like gloss over certain details. there's one section in particular, description of duties. So if you say you're a carpenter or something, go into your description of duties and say, I use these tools, I did this procedure, I put houses together, whatever it is. Don't just put carpenter and leave that blank, because yeah, I can guess what you mean, but if the minimum qualifications for the job you're applying for say it needs you to have experience in X, Y, and Z, and you just put carpenter and you didn't put X, Y, and Z down, that might hurt your chances. So just be thorough, be detail oriented, really take the time to, when you create your profile, you only have to do it once.
Yeah.
And just take the time, because that's going to help you.
No, that's really important information, because a lot of times it can be tedious and people, you're right, skip over that and how important it is. Well, we're going to put some information up for you on the screen. People should go to, this is the website we're looking at, stlewis-mo.gov/jobs. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep.
And that's where all the job listings are located?
You will go to that page and click current listings, and then I believe the next button you would click is civil service jobs. And then you'll see the whole list, including the ones that are pinned to the top that I mentioned earlier. And then,
of those 150 jobs, too.
That's all, just 150 different positions.
Well, good luck in the recruiting process. But
Thank
this has
you.
been really, we didn't know that there were 150 positions open, as well as kind of the criteria that you're looking for and how you do the step-by-step process. So thank you for sharing that with me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Todd. Before we go, more information for you, how you can follow us here on STL TV. We've got right there on the screen for you our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X. You can follow us there. And also, please be sure to go to our website, stltv.net. Thanks for joining us.